Hello, this is Nagraj. Today I'm going to teach you how to implement the neural style transfer. What is neural style transfer? As you can see in the image here, there is a style image on the left side. This is the style image and this is the content image. I want to change the content image to have the style like this. And what's the resultant image? This is the resultant image. Okay, this is wonderful. And in fact this is a great example of transfer learning where we don't really use a brand new network. We use a pre-trained neural network and extract the features to implement this task. Okay, and today we are going to use the VGG19 network which is already pre-trained, and we'll use specific layers of VGG19 to extract the features and contents. Okay, I got a very nice diagram here. So we have three images, content image on the left side, style image on the right side, and the composite image in the middle. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is construct composite image such that it takes the content from the left image and the style from the right image. Okay, and that means we have to define two different losses. One is the content loss. So we want to basically retain the content of the content image. So content loss is with respect to content image, and we want to take the style from the style image. So style loss will be with respect to this. Okay, and as we pass the loss through the network and update the gradient, the gradients are updated as the pixels of this composite image. Okay, that means this image gets updated every time so as to reduce the content loss and the style loss. Eventually this is going to become like this, but we're going to retain the original content. That is a very basic concept, guys, and that's a very simple concept. I hope you understand. So here I'm going to show you in Jupyter Notebook how this program works. Okay, so we need the important libraries that are shown here. You need pill, you need matplotlib, numpy, torch.optim. These are standard ones for PyTorch, right? Torch and torch.optim. Then you also need torch vision. You need to import transforms and models. Okay, in fact VGG19 is going to come from models. Okay, now let's instantiate the VGG19 model. That's very easy. Okay, so for that you need to call models.vgg19 pre-trained equals to true.features. Okay, so why do we need features? In fact VGG19 has more than features. I will show you that. So if I just do VGG19 without features, I will get all these layers. There are number of layers. Okay, from layer number 0, 1, convolutional 2D here, ReLU, max pool. Okay, it goes on like that. Multiple convolutional layers, ReLU layers. Okay, up to 36, and first 36 are all related, are called feature section of the VGG. Okay, and then there is a average pool. Then there is a classifier section of the VGG. Okay, so we are only interested in the feature section of the VGG because that's what we are going to deal with. Okay, note that VGG19 network or VGG16 network is mainly for image classifications. They work on the ImageNet data. Okay, and they do image classification, but here we are using the same network for neural style transfer, and this is one of the classic case of transfer learning. Okay, so only this section we assigned. We need only this section, which is VGG.features. That's what we assigned here. Okay, so next let's go to the parameters. I just want to show you that you can print the parameters of VGG by doing this. VGG.parameters print params. Okay, just that reminds me, note that we need to set all the parameters require grad to false because we are not training this part of the network. This will be pre-trained and we are not going to change this. Okay, coming back here, we printed the parameters. It is just for our knowledge and purpose. This is just for our knowledge. Okay, so now we need to assign it to the GPU. That is done by tosh.device. We need to create a device type, which is tosh.device CUDA if GPU is available, else it will become CPU. And for my laptop, GPU is available, so the device will become tosh.device CUDA. Okay, and we assign the model VGG to run on the GPU by doing VGG.to device. Device is this, which is GPU. Okay, so when we do this, it prints the network again, so don't worry about it. Okay, so VGG._modules, this is also very important. So what does this provide? So it provides again the ordered dict. Basically it's a dictionary of all the layer names and the corresponding layers. 0 is the layer name, convolutional 2D is the layer here, 1 is the layer name, and ReLU is the actual layer, again layer name and the layer. Okay, it goes on like that up to 36. Okay, we can also do of any dict, we can also do dot items. That's what is being done here. So when you do dot items, it returns both key and value pairs. That means it is going to return both layer names as well as the layers themselves. Okay, that's what it's giving us, layer names and the layers themselves. Okay, we are going to need this. I'm going to talk about this. We already did this. Okay, so here I have written a small function to load the images. Okay, so all you need to do is, actually you don't need to do this part of it. This is only if you are loading the image from HTTP path. Okay, you just need image.open. Okay, it opens the image at the image path and converts it to RGB. Okay, then we have some processing here. Okay, which converts basically if the max size, we have defined the max size as 400. If one of the max dimensions of the image is greater than 400, then it's going to make the size as that. Okay, otherwise size is going to be 400. Okay, so now we are going to do the transform on the image, which is going to convert it to the resize to one size. Okay, and then it's going to convert it to tensors, because we are going to be needing tensors, not the numbers as in NumPy array or whatever. Okay, then we need to normalize the image by calling this. Okay, all these three things are done here. Okay, and of course we need to change rearrange the dimensions of the image, because the images dimensions will be different here. Okay, so let's see. So now I want to load the images, two images we need, the content image and the style image. Okay, I will show you both the content image and the style image. I'm going to read from this particular folder. Okay, my content image is going to be this. Okay, this is like a luxury hotel or a house. Okay, and my style image is, I close this, my style image is this, which is a beautiful picture of Radha Krishna. Okay, so I want the content image, the style of it to get converted to this. Okay, that's the intention or motivation behind this exercise. Okay, so we are going to load the same images, loaded here using the function load image. Okay, so now it loaded content and style are two different images. In fact, they are of the type PyTorch, because it's already got resized and transformed. Okay, what's the size of the content image? 1 x 3 x 400 x 710. Okay, and what is the dimension of the style image? 1 x 3 x 400. Okay, so now we want to display this. Okay, again to display it, you need to again change them to NumPy array. So for that I've written a small function here. So I'm going to share this code, guys, so you don't need to worry. So you can copy all these things from my code itself. Okay, so this converts a tensor to NumPy array and it prints it. Okay, so these are the two images. Okay, so now let's understand the content and the style features. Okay, so BG19 has many layers, right? So but we would be interested in only few layers. Note that we are not going to do any image classification here. What we are doing is just extracting the style and the content of the image. Okay, so in fact I showed you this paper. Okay, yeah, so I showed you this paper by Gattis. Okay, and please go through it. This is very interesting. Okay, so they noted that some layers of the BGG in fact have content representations, and mainly the lower layers, and the higher layers have style. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to preserve the content of the original image and only change the style. Okay, that is what is the understanding from this. And one more thing you need to understand is mainly coming back to our program. So what you need to understand is here see these are the layers, right? 0, 5, 10, 19, 21, 28. We're only going to deal with these layers, although we have like 36 different layers, but we are only interested in 0, okay, 5, then 19, okay, all the ones that I have listed. Okay, so now we are going to go through we're going to pass the image through the network and extract the output at those layers. Okay, so that's what is being done in this particular function, get features. So I'm passing an image and the model. Okay, and in fact we want the outputs of these layers. Okay, let's do that. X equals to image, which is the input, and now I'm going through name comma layer in models dot underscore models dot items. Okay, so this is going to give me what I already showed you, which is going to give me the pairs of names of the layers and the layers themselves. Okay, layer functions themselves. Okay, so I get here the names of the layers and the layer functions. So as the image passes through the network, I need to pass them through the layers, right? Layer and X, and the output is assigned. Okay, X equals to layer X. So it keeps doing it continuously as it passes through this model. Okay, and every time if we hit these particular layers, I want to copy the outputs of that to features. This is what I want to extract, and features is again a dict. Okay, so I'll run this. Okay, so I will not confuse with gram matrix now, we'll go through that later. Let's see the output of this. Okay, I want to show you the features. Okay, so we are going to get features, that is output of the 6 layers here. Okay, so that means we are going to have basically 6 different arrays, okay, of this different shapes in this content features. Okay, similarly we will have the same thing for style features, because we got both content features and the style features. Okay, so now let's see what we are going to do with it. Okay, okay, so let's directly come to the see even the target features also. So actually target has been assigned to content. Okay, so I made a copy of the content and assigned it to target. So content is the image, the subject image that we are dealing with. Okay, note that has been assigned to another variable target, so the dimension of target will be same as the content. And interesting thing is here the requires grad is set to true. That means, okay, so here we are going to modify target continuously as we pass the images through the network, and I'll show you how. Okay, so let's go to the next part, which is updating the targets and calculating loss. So we are going to define two types of losses here. Okay, we are going to define content loss. Okay, we're going to define content loss, and we are going to define style loss. Content loss is why we want to define content loss is we want to minimize the content loss. Okay, so the content image here, this is a content image and we want to retain the content, right? So content loss should be minimized. Okay, and what do we want to get the style of this image into this. So okay, so content loss of this image has to be minimized and the style loss with respect to this image should be minimized. So that means we are taking the style from here. Okay, I will show you how we do that. And of course content loss plus style loss together has to be minimized. Okay, let's see how we do that. Okay, and we need an optimizer here, right? So optimizer is the one which updates the gradients. Okay, so we have defined the optimizer here, optim.atom, and note that the parameters of this usually are the parameters of network, right? But in this case the parameters of this will be the image itself. Okay, so what it means is we're considering the entire image as the parameters and we're updating the gradients of the image, the weights of the pixel values of the image, okay, based on the gradient. Okay, so that's very interesting, right? So this is the trading that is being done here. Okay, so as I showed you, we get the target features from the VGG network of the 6 layers that I described, content features and the style features. So we got 3 different features here. 3 things need to be clearly understood here: target features, content features and style features. Target features is the one that captures the features of the generated image. Content features is the features of the original image, and style features is the features of the style image. Okay, and content loss has to be calculated between the generated image and the original image. And where do we take it from? So we need to take it from the convolution layer 4.2 according to the paper. Okay, that is clear. So finally content loss is calculated as a mean square error loss between the target features at convolutional layer 4.2. But style loss is totally different. Style loss has to be calculated at all style layers, which is 5 style layers that I showed you, which are these. So these are the style layers that we are going to take: convolutional 1.1, convolutional 2.1, convolutional 3.1, convolutional 4.1 and convolutional 5.1. Okay, so we go through each layers. That is, we are going to calculate a gram matrix of the target image, which is the generated image, and the gram matrix of the style image at that particular layer. Okay, and then we do the diff of them, that is mean square error loss between the target gram and the style gram, that is the gram matrix of the generated image and the gram matrix of the style image for each layer, and we add them up. Okay, this is the style loss for this particular layer. So this one we are going to add this for all the 5 layers of style. Okay, so what are the style layers? These are the style layers. Okay, convolutional 1, convolutional 2.1, convolutional 3.1, convolutional 4.1, convolutional 5.1, and for reason that is found in the paper, the weights of these are different. So this the loss is weighed by multiplied by 1 for this layer 0. For this layer loss is multiplied by 0.8. For this layer loss is multiplied by 0.5, like that. Okay, you can play with these numbers. I don't think you'll lose much by doing that. Okay, so now we calculated the target gram and style gram for each layer, and we found the MSE between them. Okay, so that's what gives us style loss. Okay, which is not very easy like a content loss. Total loss is content loss plus style loss. So now we need to do optimizer.zeroGrad to zero out all the gradients. Okay, all the gradient that may already be there, then the total loss dot backward. Okay, this is what needs to be done. And what this is going to do is it is going to calculate the gradient with respect to the original image, okay, which is, see, always the gradients are with respect to the inputs, okay. Grades will be calculated with respect to the parameters. What are my parameters? Parameters I defined here only, okay. There is no network here. See, network, we are only using VGG, but we are not changing anything in the VGG, okay. Our target, see, this is what is being, see, we made the required grad of only one thing, true, that is target image, okay. There is, target image doesn't have a network, it is just the image pixel values, okay, and we made the required grad of that to true. That means every time I do the loss dot backward, these values are going to change, okay. How they are going to change? They are going to change such that content loss is minimized and the style loss is adjusted to that of the style image, okay. I think that is very clear. And why do we do the gram here? Gram matrix actually calculates the correlation between the features. So what it does is, let's say in my image, feature 1 is correlated to feature 5, feature 3 is correlated to feature 10, different types of correlations between the image. That's what the gram calculates, okay, and that's what actually captures the dependencies, the style dependencies within an image, okay. And we need to basically find a loss with respect to that. Okay, so now let us run this, okay. It is going to take a long time. Started running and I'm printing the loss. Say I'm running for 5000 iterations, but you could run it for lesser. And what is interesting here is, note that we are not changing anything in the VGG network. We are just simply using the features of the VGG network, and what is being updated as we train the network is not any neural network. Here what is being updated is the image, okay. That's an important thing to remember, okay. Training, okay, I see the first image had some change, second image had some change, third, okay. It's continuously changing and it's very interesting how it is changing, okay. And I can see that it's becoming more and more like the style is becoming more and more like the style image, and this is what it is, guys. And more you train, it's going to become more like the style image. Okay, so this was the original image, okay, and after doing the neural style transfer, this image has become like this image. After running the neural style transfer has become like this. Wow. So is there a big difference? Yes, of course. Of course, this image has got the style of this image. Exercises with this, you can take any arbitrary image from the internet and take any of favorite photo and apply that style on that particular image, and you'll see wonders. And in fact, this can be made into a video also. If you have a video file and you apply this translation to video, whole video will look like a dream like this, okay. In fact, I will give you more resources on this. I will share the code with you, and you can go through the code and run it yourself. In fact, I made it easy so that you can run it from the Jupyter notebook as well. Okay, I hope that is clear how the neural style transfer is done, and please be open to asking any questions and clarifications. I'll be more than willing to answer your questions. Thank you very much for watching this video.